The leaders of the djent movement have returned. After Periphery's first Grammy nomination, leaving their label to go DIY, losing a band member, and spending over a year on one album, there has been a lot of going on for the progressive metal group. In true Periphery fashion, they have continued their albums in naming form with Periphery IV, Hail Stan. Sorry devil worshippers, but you got excited about the title over nothing. Hail Stan was much more of a process to create than past albums, according to the band. Jake Bowen said that they were finally able to do everything they wanted, and while spending time creating it all. As creative and wild as Periphery songs can get with their extra long bridges and endless transitions, that statement leads to a lot of potential. Periphery has been on a consistent hot streak for output as far as the past few albums have gone, with Periphery III Select Difficulty and the massive double album Juggernaut. The proggy, djenty side of metal is a modern entity that sometimes doesn't attract every metal fan, but even the most elitist of them would be able to appreciate and enjoy something of Periphery's work over the past few years. All that being said, Hail Stan has some work to live up to. Periphery fans have eternal high expectations, and for good reason. What better way to shock the fans' senses than to open a new album with a 17-minute track? The opener Reptile has everything from string sections to screaming and the most djenty of guitar work imaginable. This is the track for prog lovers. Reptile alone is a lot to take in, but it's impressive with everything included. The second track, Blood Eagle, is the first single from Hail Stan, and it relishes in the heavier style from the band. This is also the style of later songs like Follow Your Ghost, but with Blood Eagle, the guitars and drums really stand out to create a frantic feeling of impending doom. Periphery said that they knew this would be the album's first single, and I can see why. It's worth getting excited about from a fan's perspective from wanting to hear new music. The loud, imposing style on Hail Stan is best on Blood Eagle. I say that because there's a cleaner, softer, but not too soft moments on Hail Stan that shine the most in my opinion. The songs Garden in the Bones and It's Only Smiles are my favorites on this album, and they come back to back in the center of the playthrough. When you hear the melodies play out in Spencer Clean singing, it really is a stark contrast to the harsh and animalistic screaming played in the first 25 minutes of this album, and I honestly don't think Spencer Sotelo gets enough credit for being able to do both. The high energy and low notes at a fast speed set the tone and will have most Periphery fans happy, but there are a lot of sweeping sequences that add variety to the album. Some of these songs remind me of Juggernaut Alpha because of the flow that includes the rough and smooth sounds all in one track. Just like Juggernaut Alpha, those moments also come through clear in Hail Stan. As the album goes on, the music gets more experimental, including the song Sentient Glow, which sounds like it came straight from a Lindsey Sterling album with the digital mixing and violin playing. The closing track, Satellites, is definitely a big step away from the animosity found in the beginning of the album, but it works. Most of Hail Stan really connects together and works well with the lyric lines in a dialogue format. My biggest issue with Hail Stan is that it's missing that true standout song or two, the ones that really knock you off your feet that have been in the past Periphery albums. On the prog side, it definitely works well, but when you're looking for one song to play, it's hard to really find that one song to scratch a specific itch. So be warned before going in that for this album to really be enjoyed, it should all be taken in as a whole. The music is solid, and while a bit overproduced in the mixing, it still shines in the right moments. While I didn't enjoy Hail Stan as much as Select Difficulty or the Juggernaut albums, I still feel this is a solid follow-up. Periphery took some chances here, and you can tell this was a labor of love. Not to mention that it stands out on its own very well. Overall, Periphery IV, Hail Stan is a heavier album, but it shines when the melody hits and unique lyric lines are sang clearly. The longtime fans will love this latest entry, and it might attract a new listener or two with its wild guitar solos. The leaders of the djent movement have delivered exactly what was expected, and the prog lovers have another album to play all the way through.